The first trailer of Avengers Doomsday dropped this week, and me and Keane thought we'd start a little MCU Rewatch series, and we'd like you to join us as we watch along. Welcome. We'll be talking about them in chronological order, and today we're going to be starting with a movie that started it all, Iron Man. Want to kick us off with your thoughts, Keane?
Yes. So my thoughts on Iron Man, right? This is obviously a rewatch for me. Rewatch for you, that's the whole point. But I rewatched this going in with, I didn't like the Iron Man series. I was very much a big thumbs down for Iron Man. I preferred Captain America. But going into this first movie, I watched it and I was glued. It was just so good. I don't know if I watched because I watched it when I was younger, that maybe I just didn't like.
Yeah.
It's just great. I mean, the introduction with the car, and it's good. It's good comedy, and I liked that. So I liked the whole introduction of Iron Man. I like how they give us Iron Man kind of sucks, not Iron Man, but Tony Stark. Tony Stark as a person's all about weapons. Even when he gets captured, he's forced to build a weapon.
Yeah.
So when he builds the first suit, which is awesome, the actual that scene I love, if you get me.
Yeah.
I think overall I gave it a 4 stars because on my Letterboxd, which was like a 4-star upgrade from when I first watched it. It was just it genuinely is such a good start to the MCU. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I always enjoyed the Iron Man franchise. I mean, Iron Man 2, we'll get there. But I really enjoyed rewatching it. And Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, goated casting. I think that's been said to death, but he just, he's up there with, one of the most, arguably, the most kind of tied to that character. You can't imagine any other actor as, that character now. RDJ just nails it. And just, I really enjoyed the movie. I think it balances the humour as well, but knows how to, dial it down for specific scenes, which I think later MCU movies definitely need to go back and learn from. I enjoyed, a lot of the scenes in it. The fight scenes were really good. The scene in the cave, the scene where he goes to Golmira is really enjoyable. And there's also a lot of, smaller details that even after watching it a couple of years later, the last time I watched it was a good couple of years ago. I did a full MCU rewatch 3 or 4 years ago. And this is the first time I've watched it since. And there's even small details that I didn't catch that time, and I did this time, and which I really enjoyed. I love that you can track the changes from armor to armor as you go through the film, but also in the franchise just in general. You can see at the start, you can track the improvements of the armor as you go through when he flies in the Mark II and then it ices over, but then in the Mark III at the end he's fixed the icing problem so he can defeat Stain because Stain hasn't thought of it. And I also enjoyed smaller details which I noticed this time, the fact that I noticed that I think he only added the repulsors to the suit after hearing about the terrorists in Golmira using Stark weapons. Before that, he was they're just. I think he said to Pepper that they were just flight stabilizers, but after that point, he actually made them weapons to go and fight. I like that, and I like the small details about how he activates the repulsors by moving his fingers in a specific way. I thought that was really neat. I think it's all really thought out, which I didn't think I realized when watching it in the past. Small details are a lot of thought out.
I will say on the kind of small details, I really like the cars that he had. The blue one saying Mark V, because it shows that he really just does not change. The guy just straight, he goes from the Mark V with cars to Mark IV with suits. I really enjoy that we get a couple suits in that movie, don't we? Do we get one to? Yeah. We get 1 to 4, right?
Yeah, 1 to 3.
1 to 3, yeah. Which I really like. I like that, and you are right. I really like the engineering aspect of the hologram. When he just does it so. RDJ he does it so effortlessly. He just throws like the bits he doesn't like into the bin, and like also Paul Bettany as Jarvis is one of my favorite parts about Iron Man, and then obviously future Paul Bettany stuff. I love it. Jamie, it's weird because he's just a voice, but he's just such a good voice. And it kind have you we can cut this right because it is about Ironheart. There's that one speech in Ironheart where she's like, Tony Stark, he's only Iron Man because of his money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the nature versus nurture of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's also just not true, though, is it? Given like the first Iron Man suit he built was in the cave with the box of scraps.
Yeah, but I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I mean, he builds the suit in, the first Mark 1 he builds in with basically nothing, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, even if we go further back, it's like in like the nature wise, is Tony Stark as smart as he is because of his father? They talk about him working on the Manhattan Project, and like I really like to see that side of Howard Stark because we obviously see he gets recast, right? He gets recast in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we obviously get to see him in Endgame and that stuff, but I like hearing about him in Tony's movies.
From Tony's point of view.
Yeah, so like I kind of like that, like the nature versus nurture debate with like it linking to Ironheart, where she's like, "Oh, Tony Stark would be nothing without thingy," and is it like I was thinking like, is it true? But because like if he didn't have Howard Stark as a father, obviously he wouldn't exist. But would he be the engineer that he is?
Yeah.
Or is it because of Howard Stark that he is? And I thought about that as I was watching it, and I really liked that. I will say I didn't have a lot of dislikes for this movie. I kind of have one.
Okay.
And I don't know how it'll be taken, but I didn't like the final fight. I thought it was a bit mid. I've just written mid final fight. Because I like the idea of him taking him up into the sky.
Yeah.
And just saying, eat shit, you forgot about the ice.
Yeah, using what he's learned to defeat Stain.
Yeah. But then he just gets back up and starts beating the shit out of Tony again. And it's like, okay, that was a cool detail. It could have been used in like I'm Tony Stark, I'm smarter, I learn from my mistakes, you don't. But then he gets back up. And they kind of have this whole sacrifice thing where it's like Pepper just blow it, that scene.
Yeah.
And I feel like it doesn't necessarily take away from it, but it's also like I say it's a mid fight. I say it's only mid fight because it's the first Iron Man. We're gonna see him have a lot of better fights. So that was my only complaint about the movie, I think. Yeah. Do you have anything you like overly disliked about the movie, or just a little bit?
I don't think I did. I really enjoyed like the full movie. I think I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily because that's just more because it's like not the best movie ever, rather than me having there just tons of stuff I dislike.
It doesn't have that 5-star feeling.
No.
I think when it comes to rating stuff on Letterboxd, I feel like it just simply come down to a feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like when a film's a 5-star. But like it's an exceptional film. I see. I know this is going to sound really contradictory, because I have Superman a 5-star on Letterboxd and this only 4-star. But I did write that it was a better start to the universe than Superman was.
Yeah.
And I do stand by that. I do think it genuinely is. But Superman is such a great film. But this, as like the start of the MCU, and obviously I know it's because we know what's going to happen. But Iron Man 1 to start the MCU was incredible. So I can't fault the movie at all for being like, a bad movie.
No.
Obadiah Stane?
Obadiah Stane, yeah.
Obadiah Stane as a villain, I think he's quite menacing.
Yeah, I think is it Jeff Bridges like nails getting the character, like he's really good at like I feel like more minute acting, like where you can see like he kind of dislikes Stark from the start.
Yeah.
And like the scene where he comes to take the arc reactor, like becomes so uncomfortable and he just nails it.
Yeah.
Like, he nails kind of the uncomfortable kind of tension in that scene, and also in that scene, RDJ's acting is great because you can just see like on his face, it's like he's paralyzed, but you can see just like through his eyes and his face like what he's feeling. I thought that was a really good scene.
I see. I he does just come across as such a menacing villain. And did Stark Industries come up with the paralyzing thing with the that?
Yeah.
Is that okay? So it's also an added layer of he's using something Stark helped build, or like his company did anyway, against him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
I like that throughout it you also kind of get like the tension between, well, at least from Stain to Stark, because Stark's a lot smarter than Stain.
Yeah.
Like, I think obviously maybe the implication is that like Stark developed the tech and then Stain's using it against that. But also like I noticed that like when like Stark starts the Iron Man project and then Stain starts the Ironmonger project, like there's parallels between each scene. Like Stark does it by himself talking to Jarvis, while Obadiah literally just phones up and he's like, get just X, Y, and Z like on the project rather than doing it himself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of contradiction of like Stark's intelligence to Obadiah's like Obadiah's like envy of that kind of really works well in the context of the film.
Which I do think helps his villainous character, because he is genuinely he has that control. Do you know what I mean? He has that control over Tony Stark built this in a cave. You know what I mean? He's talking to smarter people than him, but has the control that makes him look like the bigger man between them. And he's genuinely such a good villain, which I didn't see the first time I watched it. I didn't really care about him much. I didn't really like, the bald guy that wears the suit. You know what I mean? That guy. But rewatching it, it's like, wow, he's actually a really good villain. Which I did have a note for, which we can't really mention now because I said best of the three, like the villain wise, like which Iron Man villain. So I think on the third Iron Man episode we maybe mention it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like. He's just a good villain. I know I've said that so many times, but when we go through the rest of the Iron Man villains, do we think they're any better? I don't know. I know for two, but I don't know. Yeah. Do you have anything actually else about Iron Man 1?
When I was watching these three, because for this week we're going to be doing Iron Man 1, Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2, that I noticed that the first couple of movies, and I think maybe this goes all the way up to Avengers, like all have some kind of more kind of edge to them that some of the later MCU movies don't. Like, even, I know it's because they're probably earlier, but even just like the way they're filmed, like it looks less like polished and just like artificial that a lot of the later MCU movies do, and I think that really works in favor with Iron Man.
Yeah, you are right with like the angst, because I don't know, but I don't see any of them surviving. You know what I mean? Like, they do genuinely just kill people.
Yeah.
And I kind of that does kind of add to it, and I think, I don't know if because in the future they kind of get a bit scared of, like, because of Batman's no kill rule, they kind of think everyone should have that. But Tony does not. He from his first suit, none of them are surviving. We can say they might have. I wouldn't. We can test IRL, Tom. You make the suit. You can hit me with it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I wrote that also, that I found it funny some of the way the terrorists in like the cave died. The fact that one just like immediately gets like crushed when he's breaking through the door, and then one just gets like ricocheted bullet.
Yeah, they were able to do that humor with it. I don't think we see much later on. But it's I like how they portray. Sorry, that was a lot of it's. But like I said, when it comes to Tony's intelligence, we see that through like the hostage when they take the women as hostages.
Yeah,
it's very much no nonsense. Like, congratulations, you've got guns. I'm Iron Man, which I think works. And I like that part about his suit, because that's a no repulsor suit. Mark II is, right, or is it?
He has repulsors, but he can't use the repulsors because the terrorists are holding hostages. So he uses the miscontents on the back.
Is that Mark III? Sorry, was that Mark? Yeah, Mark 2.
Mark 2's a silver one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry. Yeah. So, oh god, and sorry. I'm thinking about it now, and it's the line where he's like throwing some hot rod red or something. I really just like watching him build the suit. I thought that was such a good part of the movie. Yeah, no, it's just a good movie.
It is. Also, talking about building the suit, I think just in general, like the CGI for a 2008 movie is really good as well. Like, I didn't really notice any big, like, glaring, like, things that didn't look out of place.
Yeah. I was gonna say with CGI, it's like I don't notice CGI if it's good, but you notice if it's bad.
We'll get to that.
Very much so. I will say I don't think it's something we've talked about, but the smaller side characters that obviously are going to spin to so much more. With what Pepper, Happy, Coulson, Rhodey, he gets recast, doesn't he? But other than that, those four that are going to be so maybe not so important, but decently important throughout for the rest of the universe. Obviously, we're watching these in release order. We mentioned this already.
No,
we're watching them in release order, but I think we are also making a note of chronologically what comes first. Because I think we did talk about if we're going to do it chronologically or release order, and I think release order just makes sense. Because after 18 weeks, we're kind of at Doomsday. I think,
and we also kind of talked about doing it in like trilogy blocks, but I feel like at that point, like you're watching just like spread out across the entire MCU, so it kind of you lose that kind of impact that maybe like watching Iron Man 3 straight after Iron Man 2, as opposed to watching it straight after the Avengers would have.
Which is obviously valid because like we'll take Marvels, you know what I mean? Like we've got Captain Marvel and Marvel, like very big stretch release order and chronologically. So yeah, I think release order's good.
I also like I really enjoyed like the setting for it. Like I really enjoyed the Malibu mansion and kind of like that side of Tony Stark, like the kind of is it California kind of side of it.
Yeah.
As opposed to it not just all being like in New York as it will be later. I do love the way the Malibu mansion looks. I can't lie. The basement of like the suits.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoyed like there is like actual kind of tension in the movie, and I feel like they handle the tense scenes really well. Like the scene with Obadiah and the Arc Reactor, as I said, but I feel like you also kind of get the scariness of like the Mark 1 suit in the cave.
Okay.
Which is all, and then also like in the kind of Stark Industries basement later with Obadiah, I think.
With Pepper and Shield agents.
When you see like the chains rattling and you just see this giant thing chasing them, I feel like it really nails some scary aspects, which again I feel like maybe get lost in. I feel like I don't want to say trying to like dumb the films down but making the films less edgy.
Kind of, and they kind of just they made like I'm not saying Iron Man 1 isn't like a family movie, but they just feel like they kind of aimed for that post Ultron, I guess. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We're rewatching it for a reason. I will say I do like Pepper's character, and I it's one of those things where it's like, is it a shame that we're not going to see more of Pepper compared to like the rest of them? But I think she is just a great side character. Gwyneth Paltrow, she's kind of goated as Pepper. It's like you couldn't see, you were saying you couldn't see anyone else as Tony. I think I find it hard to see someone else as Pepper Potts. I mean, something we haven't talked about yet is the Stanley cameo. I don't think we discussed this pre-podcast, but maybe we said maybe we talk about the Stanley cameos in every. Maybe because he's playing Hugh Hefner this movie, which is always fun, I
feel like Stanley's cameo is very understated in this one. Like I didn't, I can't like. It took me until you saying, "Oh, who's Hugh Hefner in this one?" to realize, "Oh shit, yeah, that was Stanley." Whereas opposed to some other ones, like I might,
and I like that idea. Obviously, because he passed what 2018.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah.
We 2018 post we haven't seen any cameos, and obviously DC doesn't have like a cameo thing either. I mean, they kind of do, but not like he's like when you think of a Marvel movie, you don't necessarily think of Stan Lee, but he is very much apparent in any Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Pre 2018, and no 2019 as well. He was in Avengers Endgame, right?
Yeah, he was.
Sorry. So I don't know. I thought that was quite cool that while we do the rewatch, we'll be able to see and talk about Stan Lee's cameos.
Yeah.
So guys, that's all for Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. Not next week. Sorry. Tune in next Wednesday for the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, 2008 with Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.